from Clash at the Castle, we are live tonight for the home of the Sharks, the SAP Center in San Jose, California, for Thursday Night SmackDown. And there's some bad blood to be settled to kick things off tonight. We are getting right down to the action here on your Thursday night edition of SmackDown. The phenomenal AJ Styles has got a score to settle with the Judgment Day. Cruiserweight Champion Dominik Mysterio first up on the agenda. We will show you momentarily just why AJ Styles is looking to settle the score.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Janesville, Georgia, weighing in at 218 pounds, the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Well, en route to becoming #1 contender for the World Championship, Finn Balor met the phenomenal AJ Styles several weeks back here on SmackDown. An ambush by Judgment Day member JD McDonough as Styles was making his way down the aisle, certainly softening up the phenomenal one. That way the Prince was able to capitalize, score a victory over AJ Styles on that night, one that catapulted him to a triple threat match that saw Finn Balor become the #1 contender for the World Championship this coming Saturday in Glasgow, Scotland. Well, AJ Styles called out any member of the Judgment Day. Surprisingly enough, Dirty Dom, the one to step up. I am sure AJ Styles wants to get his hands on JD McDonough. And at the top of that list is the Prince Finn Balor. But the agenda starts with Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Dominik Mysterio. And as we saw last week here on SmackDown, the numbers game for the Judgment Day only continues to grow.
And his opponent, accompanied by Liv Morgan from San Diego, California, weighing in at 200 pounds, the WWE Cruiserweight Champion,
Dominik Mysterio walking down the aisle tonight with his seemingly his new girlfriend and Liv Morgan, who has joined the ranks of the Judgment Day the last 2 months or so. Seen Liv be at ringside for a handful of Dom's matches here on SmackDown and vice versa. Hell, last week in the main event, Finn Balor one-on-one with rival and Big Jimmy Uso. We were shocked as Dirty Dom, Liv, nor JD McDonough had accompanied Finn Balor down to the ring last week. But of course, that was only a rouge, if you will, as Judgment Day's newest acquisition, the returning Carlito, returned to SmackDown, distracted Jimmy Uso, aided Finn Balor in victory. We saw the Judgment Day standing tall at the end of the program just 7 nights ago. Well, I'm sure Dominik Mysterio looking to start the Judgment Day's weekend off on the right foot. A victory over AJ Styles tonight, I'm sure, would be the utmost confidence booster for the Judgment Day unit ahead of Finn Balor's clash with Ilja Dragunov this Saturday night in Glasgow. Well, that is then, this is now. We are kicking things off from a capacity crowd here in the SAP Center in San Jose. AJ Styles one-on-one with Dominik Mysterio. I'm sure AJ Styles got a keen interest in the World Heavyweight Championship match coming up this Sunday in Glasgow, Scotland. Again, between the champion, Ilja Dragunov, and the challenger, Finn Balor. Either way you spin it, I'm sure AJ Styles would love to get his hands at an opportunity at the World Championship. It's not too long ago during his time on Monday Night Raw that AJ Styles was the WWE Champion at the pinnacle of this entire industry. Ran into some trouble here with the Judgment Day on SmackDown since being drafted over to SmackDown 2 months ago. Rest assured, AJ Styles not going to give an inch and not going to give up just yet. Dirty Dominik Mysterio, we can rag on him all we want. We'll be the first people to give the devil his due. May not like his attitude, may not like his ego, may not like the actions of the Judgment Day that have been painted all over Dominik Mysterio over the last year plus since he joined the ranks of the group. Dominik Mysterio, all the talents in the world, current Cruiserweight Champion who is currently in the process of awaiting his next challenger. We move one step closer to finding out who that's going to be here tonight in San Jose. Dominik Mysterio got AJ Styles in the corner right now. Mysterio ever confident. It's so interesting. It was not that long ago. You go back to the fall on Monday Night Raw where AJ Styles, during his reign as WWE Champion, was actually rubbing elbows with the Judgment Day. Had some common enemies on the red brand, even participated in the War Games matchup back at Survivor Series together. Obviously, no love lost anymore. It is a new day, not just for the Judgment Day, but entirely here on SmackDown. AJ Styles doesn't give a damn who's in his way. He wants to get back to the promised land, wants to get back to being a champion. The Judgment Day currently stand in his way. Styles dropping Dom. Fireman's carry to the neck breaker. Mysterio's still alive here as we get things going on Thursday Night SmackDown. Dirty Dominic Mysterio is going to be feeling that one on Friday morning. Rest assured, there's AJ sending Dom over the top rope. Styles starting to feel it here in San Jose tonight. Got his eyes locked, measuring his man. Styles could be looking to soar, and oh, wait a minute here. Well, Liv Morgan right at ringside. Hold on here, JD McDonough in the ring. An attack at AJ Styles. Oh, we heard the bell. Senior referee Charles Robinson gonna have to throw out this match. AJ Styles gonna win by disqualification here, but JD McDonough ambushing Styles from behind. We are just starting to get things going between the Phenomenal One and the Cruiserweight Champion. The distraction by Liv Morgan allows JD to hit the ring, but Styles is fired up and ready for a fight. McDonough gets caught in the crossfire. Styles clash by an amped up Phenomenal One. Well, unfortunately, this matchup not going to continue, but AJ Styles leaving the Judgment Day laying. JD McDonough getting sent back to the showers after a failed attack on AJ Styles. Oh, wait a minute. Well, the Judgment Day's not done. Finn Balor from behind. Oh, it's just like we saw as the Judgment Day invaded Monday Night Raw this past week with Balor's attack on Damian Priest. JD McDonough was the bait, and here's Finn Balor coming from behind. The Judgment Day trying to eliminate all enemies and really get rid of all distractions ahead of Finn Balor's monumental clash with Dragunov on Saturday. Well, Styles able to outlast that attack by JD McDonough, but I don't think he saw Finn Balor coming. An attack from behind here, and now the #1 contender for the world's title, Finn Balor, all over AJ Styles, just as he was to Damian Priest this past Monday night on Raw. Well, unfortunately, our opening matchup again, ladies and gentlemen, going haywire. Wait a minute! Here comes the world champion, Ilja Dragunov. The Cavalry marching his way down the aisle, and we're getting a preview of Clash at the Castle. Ilja Dragunov trying to come to the aid of AJ Styles, but Finn Balor now throwing it right back to the world's champion. Oh, these two men. A war of words last week on SmackDown. They stood eye to eye 2 weeks in a row. Now Dragunov giving Balor a fight ahead of their flight to Scotland. Well, he started with AJ and Dom. We're down to the world's title match 2 days early. Ilja Dragunov trying to come even the odds here, and all Finn Balor's had it off. Finn Balor running away, wants none of the Mad Dragon, at least not yet. Well, tensions rising to say the very least here on SmackDown as we look ahead to what is to come live this Saturday night in Glasgow, Scotland, where the Judgment Day's Finn Balor will challenge the Mad Dragon, Ilja Dragunov, for the Heavyweight Championship of the world. Ever since his crowning moment at WrestleMania, Ilja Dragunov has waged war on every challenge that dared step before him. With fury in his fist and fire in his soul, the Mad Dragon has turned doubters into believers, carving a path of carnage and pride through SmackDown's elite and standing tall every single time. But now, a new storm looms, a man reborn, a leader reloaded. Finn Balor is coming to collect. Since stepping onto the blue brand, Balor has led the Judgment Day into a new era, reshaping their identity, adding new soldiers to the fold, and reminding the world just how dangerous they can be. And now, he wants it all. The power, the recognition, the World Heavyweight Championship. To crown the Judgment Day as the true kings of WWE, Balor must dethrone Dragunov in the heart of Glasgow, Scotland. Some question whether Judgment Day's mounting enemies have clouded Balor's vision, but week after week, he's silenced it out with action, dominance, and purpose. Now, he stands on the edge of destiny, a crowning moment within reach. Ilja Dragunov has beaten the bold. He's survived the savage, but never has he faced someone quite like Finn Balor, who's cunning, calculated, and completely unpredictable. Will Dragunov's reign end under Judgment Day's shadow? Or will Clash at the Castle be another chapter in the rise of the Mad Dragon? Two warriors, one kingdom, one world champion! Well, a huge matchup awaits on Saturday for the World Heavyweight title, but we are back inside the SAP Center in San Jose, California. We're set for a tag team bout here on Thursday Night SmackDown. Ever since her return to the WWE, Naomi has scored not one but two singles victories over one of the women at ringside, that being Zoe Stark. Well, the former women's tag team champions in Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler challenging Naomi to find a tag team partner here tonight and settle the score. In action, they know best. Well, the question is, who's Naomi got by her side? She's done a hell of a job impressing in singles action since her return, but can she get the job done when it's 2v2? Naomi needs a tag team partner. And it looks like a tag team partner is exactly what she found.
And from San Jose, California, Bayley.
And what better town for Bayley to make a return to action than right here in her hometown of San Jose? Well, Bayley spent the better part of the last year plus over on Monday Night Raw, but was drafted once again to SmackDown back in March for the first time in a couple of months. Bayley returns to action. She's back on the blue brand. She's doing it in the SAP Center, and she's alongside a good friend in Naomi. Well, the competition ever rising here on SmackDown with the Women's World Championship, the Women's United States Championship, and one of the best tag teams in all of WWE, Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, throwing down the gauntlet for competition. Naomi and her tag team partner, Bayley, answering the challenge. Well, this should be a good one here, an ever-developing grudge between Stark and Naomi as of late here on SmackDown. Set to write another chapter as the bell has sounded and we are underway. Naomi, hot out of the gate. Uber athletic is the glow, nearly getting the victory. In the opening moments of this matchup, Zoe Stark just got knocked out there with the opening few shots. Naomi gonna do, or I should say look to do, what she has done not once but twice before. Let's get the victory over Zoe Stark. But of course, Zoe not going in alone tonight. Former Women's World Champion, former WWE Women's Champion, former Tag Team Champion, and Shayna Baszler accompanying her once protege, dare I say maybe an equal these days, and Zoe Stark for this battle tonight. We have seen the evolution of Zoe Stark here on SmackDown over the last couple of years. She has certainly grown leaps and bounds since Shayna Baszler took her under her wing upwards of a year ago. There's been times where it seems that Shayna Baszler has really even taken a back seat to allow Zoe Stark to continue to grow, to continue to flourish. It's nights like tonight where Shayna Baszler is going to strap on the boots, get back to doing what she does best, and that's this right here before our very eyes, the ground and pound, the beat you down that made her world famous. And he say Shayna Baszler's up there with the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, even the Nightmare Rhea Ripley. Some of the most dangerous women that have ever stepped foot in a WWE ring. Dangerous and dominant at that. Their tag made to Zoe Stark, the former tag team champions. Working like a well-oiled machine here. This is what brought them to the dance. This is why they have seen so much success on SmackDown. Zoe Stark knocking Naomi to the outside. Nothing fancy about it. Just a sharp right hand that time. Naomi on skates at ringside trying to get her wits about her. Zoe Stark over the top rope with the crossbody. Zoe Stark, who competed in Elimination Chamber earlier this year, hungry for opportunity here on SmackDown. Feels like Naomi is standing in her way. She's looking to get the job done here tonight. Naomi once again in the drop zone, drop kick. Shot out like a cannon, the sniper. That is Zoe Stark, nearly getting the victory that time. Naomi might have scored the victory twice before, but that was in singles action. It's a whole different story now that Zoe Stark's got her right hand and Shayna Baszler in play. Can we go for another tag there? Former tag champs trying to keep each other fresh. Naomi trying to fight out of enemy territory. One in the front. There's a bulldog. And a tag made to the returning Bayley right here in San Jose. Naomi needed a tag team partner. Bayley answering the call. Looking to get the fire back underneath her feet here tonight. Bayley's story here in the WWE over the last few years, well documented. A lot of nagging injuries that kept her in and out of action, whether she was on the SmackDown or Raw rosters. Last year, she was drafted over to Raw, finally started to flourish yet again. Seen Bayley challenge for the WWE Women's Championship with a great match against Rhea Ripley all the way back last summer. Bayley and Becky Lynch had a couple of runs to try to get the women's tag team titles. Although some of those opportunities may have gone the way of the role model, Bayley has asserted herself once again as a force in the women's division. She is looking to find success all over again here on Thursday nights. Bayley on the middle rope here, maybe taking too much time soaking in the pageantry of her hometown. Zoe Stark gonna make her pay. Not want to underestimate Zoe Stark. We mentioned it just a few minutes ago, but Zoe, well, she defeated her tag team partner in Shayna Baszler earlier this year in a competitive bout here on SmackDown to qualify for the Elimination Chamber match. Competed in Satan's prison back in February. And yes, Naomi might have gotten the victories, but it did not come without a fight. Zoe Stark continuing to improve. Bayley cannot underestimate her, and she cannot forget about just how dominant the Queen of Spades is as Shayna Baszler cuts her in half with the spear. Welcome back to action, Bayley. Bayley may be regretting picking up that phone and answering the call, per se, to be the tag team partner here tonight. Bayley has never been one to turn away a challenge here, and I don't think she was going to start upon her SmackDown return in her hometown. Tag made to Naomi. Smart by the veteran in Bayley there, realizing she needs to get some R&R, let the fresh legs in Naomi get into this matchup. Double spring, Naomi, ever athletic, incredible talent inside of that ring. Springboard, head scissors takedown. Now all of a sudden, Shayna Baszler's in the same spot Naomi was a couple of minutes ago. Eggs may be scrambled. Wobbly foundation, but Baszler able to get the dust off that time. Shoo away the drop kick from Naomi. And now brings her down to the canvas with force. Much to the chagrin of this San Jose audience, Baszler and Stark never been ones to endear themselves to the WWE Universe. Sometimes they've been cheered, sometimes they've been booed, sometimes the fans have felt indifferent. No one's going to deny that Baszler and Stark are tough as nails. They have proven to be successes here on SmackDown, and they're looking to do so again here tonight. A little cheap shot that time by Zoe Stark. That certainly isn't going to do them any good in terms of their reaction to the WWE Universe. Naomi may be in trouble here. Baszler and Stark, former tag team champions. This is their forte. They are starting to take over. Well, Naomi, create a little bit of distance. Double shoulder blocks to the abdominal. Leg drop over the top rope. Man, it seems like ever since Naomi has come back to the WWE, she has just continued to add more tools to her arsenal. Spent some time away from the WWE over the last few years, went and became the Knockouts champion in TNA Wrestling. Hell, nearly defeated Kairi Sane just about 2 months ago here on SmackDown for the United States title. Did not go the way of the Glow, but Naomi finding herself here in this tag team matchup. Knee right to the jawline. Tag made of the role model. Bayley in now. Bayley starting to strike. I don't know how wise it is to throw hands with Shayna Baszler, but Bayley not backing down. Bayley allowing the tag to Zoe Stark that time, realizing she wants the best and Zoe Stark is the freshest. Once again, throwing strikes. Zoe Stark would have walked right in to the line of fire here. Bayley off the dragon screw. In her hometown of San Jose, California, Bayley revving up the engines, dropping the elbow. Tell you what, Naomi might have chosen the perfect tag team partner. Bayley to belly. Zoe Stark still alive. Bayley being reminded just how tough Zoe Stark is. Oh, Shayna Baszler with a little cheap shot on Bayley. Bayley giving it right back to Baszler. Want to throw hands, Bayley will meet you in the middle. Zoe trying to sneak attack from behind. There's Bayley dropping her down. Baszler back up on the apron, eats a drop kick for her troubles. Zoe Stark now in trouble. Bayley drops her with the Rose plant. A successful return to action for the hometown superstar.
Here are your winners, the team of Naomi and Bayley.
Well, Zoe Stark's gonna have to go back to the drawing board, in terms of her troubles with Naomi. Naomi scoring a hell of a tag team partner here tonight in Bayley. Well, we're getting news now, ladies and gentlemen. This is not our last tag team matchup of the evening, because after a chaotic opening moments here on SmackDown, the main event has just been signed on. The phenomenal AJ Styles teams with the World Heavyweight Champion Ilja Dragunov to take on Ilja's opponent on Saturday, Finn Balor, as well as Dominic Mysterio, the Judgment Day. That's later tonight here in San Jose.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, representing the LWO from Jalisco, Mexico, weighing in at 165 pounds,
We're keeping our foot on the gas here in San Jose. The LWO collides for a Cruiserweight Championship opportunity up next. After the dust has settled at Backlash, the road only gets rougher. The journey takes us across the sea to a land of warriors, a country of legends. This is Scotland, the heart of the Highlands, and live from the OVO Hydro Arena in Glasgow, WWE brings the fight to the proud and passionate fans of the North. In a place where every echo feels like thunder, and every battle feels like war. Titles will be defended, scores will be settled, and history will be written in stone. The stars are coming, the stakes are rising, and when the clash begins, only the strong will survive. Live from the pride of Scotland, this is Clash at the Castle. We're back live in the capital of the Silicon Valley, San Jose. The Hall of Famer, the master of the 619, Rey Mysterio, set to go one-on-one with a man he brought to SmackDown, a man he welcomed into the LWO in Dragon Lee. Well, some would call these men great friends, others tag team partners, but tonight opponents in the midst of this #1 contenders eliminator for the Cruiserweight Championship. Winner of this matchup will meet Javon Evans next week to determine the one true #1 contender for Dominik Mysterio's Cruiserweight Championship. These two men have grown to know each other extremely well. Rey Mysterio now, after a quick feeling out process, going for the quick victory. Dragon Lee now going to reverse the pressure. Mysterio gives it right back to him. So this is going to be a fun one here, as Dragon Lee now takes out the knee, going for a pinfall of his own, gets Rey Mysterio down to the canvas. Not over yet. Two masked superstars, two Lucha Libre, one legend, one up-and-coming superstar. The future of Lucha Libre is what Rey Mysterio was called Dragon Lee at times. Now look at the speed of this man. Dragon Lee, who's already had a run-in with Dominik Mysterio for the Cruiserweight Championship, would love to get another round with Rey's son. On the flip side of that coin, imagine if Rey Mysterio can get through Dragon Lee tonight and can outlive Javon Evans next week. Maybe a father and son collision for the Cruiserweight title, but not if Dragon Lee keeps up this offense. These two men, former WWE Tag Team Champions, but tonight pinned against each other for one ultimate opportunity. The Hall of Famer now set to the outside, Dragon Lee, showcasing you exactly why the Cruiserweight division is on fire here on SmackDown. Over the top he goes. San Jose on their feet as the LWO comes to a head. Dragon Lee now out on the apron. Referee Chad Patton trying to get both of these superstars back inside of the ring here. Oh, Dragon Lee with a nice shot. Mysterio approached. What's he got in mind? Destroyer! What are we, less than 3 minutes into this matchup? These guys leaving it all inside of the ring on SmackDown. Student versus teacher, tag team partners. Javon Evans defeated Wesley in an incredible matchup last week. He awaits the winner of this bout to determine the #1 contender for the Cruiserweight title. Mysterio now starting to get some wheels underneath of him. Drop kick takes Dragon Lee off his feet. I'm sure Mysterio has helped teach Dragon Lee some new games, some new tools to his tool belt, if you will. That does not mean he taught Dragon Lee everything he knows. The Hall of Famer's definitely got a couple of tricks up his sleeve. Mysterio off the top. Huracanrana takes down Lee. Into the cover. Goes Rey. Dragon Lee still alive. And the moment this matchup was signed on, we knew it was going to be spectacular. And ever since the opening bell, these two men have pushed pedal to the metal. Dragon Lee collapsing out of the collision with the corner. Rey Mysterio, mind spinning. What's he got here? Drop kick. Off the middle rope that time. Some added leverage for the Hall of Famer. Now back up to the middle rope. What's Rey Mysterio got in mind now as he awaits Dragon Lee to get to the soles of his boots. Moonsault caught into the Tornado DDT. Rey Mysterio taking it back to 1997 here. Springboard. Into the moonsault. Dragon Lee tried to get out of the way. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. From Mysterio is Dragon Lee still alive. We mentioned it briefly, but just imagine if Rey Mysterio can get through Dragon Lee tonight, can survive the young OG, Javon Evans next week. We could be heading towards a father versus son collision for the Cruiserweight Championship. I'm sure Rey would love to teach his son a little bit of respect. Out of the ring goes Rey Mysterio with a pair of boots. Even referee Chad Patton got caught up in the fire. Rey Mysterio dishing the fight right back to Dragon Lee at what has been an awesome Cruiserweight collision thus far. Back inside the ring goes Dragon Lee. Mysterio on the apron into the springboard. Another Huracanrana. From multiple places in the ring, Mysterio has delivered that maneuver to the utmost fruition. What's he got in mind here? We're in San Jose, but Rey's taking the fight to San Diego with a 619. Nobody home. Off the springboard. Off the frog splash. Crash and burn for Rey. Dragon Lee now. Another destroyer. this time dead center of the ring. Dragon Lee may have an opportunity to put away his mentor. Mysterio looking up at the lights. Double stomp by Lee. And he's keeping his foot on the gas. Dragon Lee now. Operation Dragon to Rey Mysterio. Into the cover he goes. Dragon Lee moving on to next week.
Here is your winner,
Dragon Lee outlasting the Hall of Famer, outlasting his mentor, his tag team partner, somebody who brought him to SmackDown many months ago in Rey Mysterio. Dragon Lee continuing to climb the ladder of success. And next week, two young superstars bound for greatness in the blue brand will collide. The young OG, Javon Evans, the LWO representative in Dragon Lee. One of these superstars will meet Dirty Dominic Mysterio in the near future for the Cruiserweight Champion. Oh, hold on here. Wait a minute. We need some cameras at the top of the stage. Something's going on up there. Hold on. That's Big Bronson Reed and the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. This fight must have kicked off in the backstage area and has spilled out to the SAP Center. Well, Reed stormed the ring last week here on SmackDown and addressed Cody Rhodes, saying they have unfinished business. Even sent a message to the world champion, Ilja Dragunov, as well. And up Cody Rhodes, he looks defenseless. This is obviously a fight that must have been going on in the backstage and now has spilled out to San Jose. Bronson Reed manhandling the American Nightmare. These two men have met twice in recent memory. One match going to a disqualification. The other, Cody Rhodes narrowly survived Bronson Reed. Oh, with a big Aussie fired up, pissed off. And looking to get a pound of flesh out of Cody tonight. Well, this obviously was a sneak attack, some kind of assault, some kind of ambush in the backstage area, or else Cody Rhodes would have been ready for a fight. Oh no. Reed's got a table. Reed slamming that table right off of Cody. Well, somebody's got to get out here. Referee Chad Patton is defenseless to separate Bronson Reed and get him off of Cody Rhodes here. Ever since he was drafted to SmackDown, Reed has been a changed individual, not the man you saw for months over on Monday Night Raw, climbing the ladder with respect. Reed said he lost the Intercontinental Championship on the red brand because he lost his edge. Clearly, he's rediscovered it since joining the SmackDown brand. Bronson Reed fired up at another senton as he comes crashing down on Cody Rhodes. Remember 2 weeks ago, the last time Cody Rhodes was in action, he had that abdominal taped up thanks to the prior match with Bronson Reed. There was no serious injuries, it was mostly precaution. But if Reed has his way, Cody Rhodes may be leaving San Jose on a stretcher tonight. Oh, wait a minute, Cody here. Cody trying to fight back. Cody giving the fight to the big Aussie. Oh, Cody realizing the goods that Reed has brought to the ring. He's got that table in hand. Cody Rhodes here. Might not have started this fight, but he's looking to finish it. Bronson Reed off the reversal. Cody set up that table. He might have just made the bed of his own disaster. Oh no, Reed with Cody in his grasp. Superplex through the table. This is not a match, ladies and gentlemen. This is just a fight. Reed's now on top. Tsunami! We gotta get some help out here for Cody Rhodes. Bronson Reed is gonna eat this man alive. On top again. A second tsunami. You made your point. Oh no, he's going back up. This man's out of his damn mind. A third tsunami on Cody Rhodes. If those ribs of Cody were taped up 2 weeks ago due to precaution, I can't imagine the internal damage that has been done now. An assault by Bronson Reed that leaves Cody Rhodes broken inside the middle of the ring. Can't get enough Universe mode? Well, now is your chance to secure a backstage pass to more Universe than ever before. Become a Noah Nation Gaming channel member and gain entry to exclusive kickoff shows before each and every premium live event. Also, witness bi-monthly house shows that directly affect your episodic viewing of Universe mode. Also, take a peek behind the curtain and see how Universe mode is brought to life each and every week. Hit the join button down below, become a Backstage Pass Noah Nation Gaming channel member, and get your front row seat to more Universe than ever before. In just over 2 weeks, we are headed to the Honda Center in Anaheim for the Noah Nation Gaming channel member exclusive Beach Blast live event on Saturday night, June the 14th. Ilja, Dragunov, Roxanne Perez, Seth Rollins, and more already signed on. Hit the join button down below, become a Noah Nation Gaming channel member, and punch your ticket to Beach Blast on Saturday night, June 14th. But that is in just a couple of weeks in Anaheim. We are live from San Jose. SmackDown set to roll on. And ahead of the WWE Tag Team title matchup this Saturday night, the Celtic Warrior Sheamus set to clash with the ever-exciting Nathan Frazer.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Dublin, Ireland, weighing in at 267 pounds, the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus!
This Saturday night at Clash at the Castle in the OVO Hydro in Glasgow, Sheamus along with the man who will be returning to this homeland of Scotland, Drew McIntyre, will challenge Fraxium for the WWE Tag Team titles. Sheamus and Drew McIntyre developing an issue with the newly formed New Catch Republic and Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. A rivalry that eventually led them to an opportunity. Fraxium wanted a challenge. They're going to get it on Saturday.
And his opponent, accompanied by Axiom, representing Fraxium from Jersey in the Channel Islands, weighing in at 182 pounds, one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions, Nathan Frazer.
Well, Nathan Frazer and Axiom have had a hell of a reign thus far as the WWE Tag Team Champions, winning the gold back in January in the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden at the Royal Rumble, against the two men who you just previously saw, Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio. Fraxium have defended that gold successfully against the LWO, against Santos Escobar and Andrade, part of that triple threat match at WrestleMania. Fraxium turning away Gallus, the Backlash kickoff show last month. Now they await Sheamus and McIntyre on Saturday. Nathan Frazer giving Sheamus a little early preview of what may be coming his way in Glasgow. Well, Sheamus and McIntyre, obvious size and strength advantage over Fraxium, but where Fraxium shine is when they push pedal to the metal, when they start soaring, when they start moving fast. It's what brung them WWE Tag Team title success over the last 5+ months on SmackDown. Frazer and Axiom wanted to fight the best. They wanted a challenge. They saw Sheamus and McIntyre standing tall after a contest against New Catch Republic 2 weeks ago, and they called their shot. You just gotta wonder if Fraxium signed their own death wish, because Sheamus and McIntyre have been in some moods as of late. With Frazer missing that dropkick moments ago. Sheamus getting distracted by Axiom at ringside. Frazer now getting a moment of R&R, able to capitalize. Goes for the schoolboy on the Celtic Warrior. Unfortunately, not getting the victory he wanted. It gets leveled for his troubles. Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, two men who have torn through SmackDown, no matter if it's been in the main event or the opening contest, for quite some time. McIntyre and his frustrations failing to win back the World Heavyweight Championship, very well documented. But him and Sheamus got an opportunity to win tag gold on Saturday. Certainly may not go the way they so hope if Nathan Frazer's moving around like this. Naomi Hydro gets the drop kick he so wanted about a minute ago. Oh, wait a minute here. Frazer into the pinfall. Referee Jessica Core dragged out of the ring by McIntyre. McIntyre gets taken down by Frazer. And a full head of steam, but he runs into Sheamus. Slight distraction there. Nathan Frazer might have had this matchup put away. But Sheamus giving the fight right back to one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions. Sheamus and McIntyre heading to familiar soils, Drew McIntyre's homeland of Scotland on Saturday. Will they be walking out of Glasgow, the new WWE Tag Team Champions, or will it be, no doubt, the biggest retention of the gold yet for Fraxium? Sheamus now, triple Irish curse backbreakers, excuse me. Nathan Frazer's going to be feeling that one. And that long flight to Scotland. Sheamus now whipping Frazer, and his momentum sends him over the top rope. Nathan Frazer, no stranger to soaring over the top rope, but usually it's by his own will, not force of his opponent. Sheamus going right after one half of the tag team champions at ringside, looking to send a message to this group, but there's a cheap shot on Axiom. Well, Sheamus and McIntyre ain't never been afraid to show their true colors. Sheamus credits McIntyre with helping him rediscover his edge, going back to last summer to the fall here on SmackDown. Sheamus has certainly been one of the most dangerous versions of the Celtic Warrior we've ever seen since. They've wreaked havoc across SmackDown. Just ask Cody Rhodes, Ilja Dragunov, among others, just what those two men are capable of. So Fraxium's finding out firsthand so far tonight. Shoulder blocked by Sheamus. Trying to beat Nathan Frazer at his own game of soar through the heavens. This is what Sheamus is going to have to do tonight. This is what Sheamus and McIntyre are going to have to do on Saturday, and that is ground Fraxium, not allow them to get going. They wrestle their style of matchup, which is fast-paced, high-flying. It's going to be a long night for the challengers on Saturday. Great white noise by Sheamus. Oh, and Nathan Frazer reaching out, grabbing the rope. Sheamus thought he had this matchup put away, and I think everybody in San Jose did. Off the white noise, Nathan Frazer, great ring awareness, reaching out and grabbing the rope, but again, it's just ragdolled over the top. Great survival instincts by Frazer, but he may just be delaying the inevitable. Sheamus now coming off the apron, miscalculated. He might have slipped up. Coming off the apron, looking for that high knee. Trying to beat Frazer at his own game of high flying. It's better left for the Cruiserweights. That might end up being a costly misstep for a Grand Slam champion here in WWE. Sheamus now inside of the ring gets leveled with a drop kick. Nathan Frazer might have an opportunity here to catch one half of the challengers ahead of what is no doubt the biggest defense of their gold come Saturday night. Nathan Frazer collapses Sheamus in the corner. Going up top, high risk, high reward, never slow down mantra. Go for the moonsault, nobody home. Sheamus getting out of the way at the last second. And that'll make a total of 6 Irish curse backbreakers throughout the entirety of this match. Nathan Frazer's gonna need to put some ice on that spine later tonight. Well, continuing to fight, gotta give credit where credit's due. Bulldog, you see the way Sheamus' head bounced off the canvas. Frazer trying to hustle up, never slow down. 450 splash on the Celtic Warrior. He got him! Nathan Frazer scores a massive victory tonight!
Here is your winner, Nathan Frazer!
What a feather in the cap for the tag team champions, ahead of catching that flight to Glasgow, ahead of the defense of their gold on Saturday night. Well, the tag team titles will be on the line this Saturday night at Clash at the Castle, as will be the World Heavyweight Championship. Ilja, Dragunov, and Finn Balor gonna get a feel for one another in the midst of this massive tag team main event coming up next live from San Jose. Well, we have waited in anticipation for weeks, but next week in Bakersfield, the beautiful madness, Julia, finally arrives to Thursday Night SmackDown. Her in-ring debut coming to you live next week. Julia's in the house on SmackDown. Also next Thursday night in Bakersfield, Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes' rivalry only continues to heat up. They got a lot to say to one another. They're going to come face to face in the middle of the ring next week. Something's got to give between these two former best friends. Well, that is all next week on SmackDown, but of course before we get there, Clash at the Castle comes your way live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time this Saturday night from the OVO Hydro in Glasgow, Scotland. Of course, the action going to kick off 30 minutes prior for Nation Gaming channel members on the Clash at the Castle kickoff show featuring Raw's Women's Intercontinental Championship Clash as the Unholy Union's Alba Fire takes on a woman she's been headhunting for months in Lyra Valkyria. Moments ago, you saw Nathan Frazer pull off what many would believe to be a huge upset over the Celtic Warrior Sheamus. But this Saturday, Fraxium defends the WWE Tag Team titles against Sheamus, as well as Scotland native Drew McIntyre. And another man returning to his homeland of Scotland would be Gallus' Joe Coffey, who just 7 nights ago put LA Knight through a table right here on SmackDown. The matchup went haywire back at Saturday night's main event, but on Saturday it's a street fight for the United States title. WWE Women's Championship from Monday Night Raw will be defended as the woman that was voted by you, the fans, the 2024 Women's Superstar of the Year, Roxanne Perez, looks to add to her ever-growing list of accolades as she challenges Rhea Ripley. Now what about SmackDown's Women's World Championship bout? Piper Niven has had the number of the Kabuki Warriors for what seems like months here on SmackDown, but Io Sky looks to stand her ground and defend the title proudly on Saturday night. For the first time ever, one-on-one, two icons of this industry will clash in Scotland. The Ring General, Gunther, one-on-one against the Second City Saints, CM Punk. And I got a feeling these superstars are going to have a keen interest on Raw's main event come Saturday. The undisputed WWE Championship matchup. The Apex Predator Randy Orton looks to add to his Hall of Fame career as he takes on the unpredictable badass, Braun Breaker. And of course in SmackDown's main event for the Heavyweight Championship of the World, the Man Dragon, Ilja Dragunov, defends the gold against the Judgment Day's Finn Balor. We're going to get a look at these two men in moments in the midst of the tag team main event, but we want to take you back to this past Monday night on Raw. Recently, Damian Priest had threatened to make the trip to Scotland himself and spoil Finn Balor's chances at becoming World Heavyweight Champion. Well, the Judgment Day doing all they can to ensure that Priest would not be able to make the trip to Clash at the Castle. You saw JD McDonough this past Monday night attacking Damian Priest from behind. Priest able to take care of the Irish Ace, but was met with an attack from Finn Balor moments later. The brawl between these two men commencing as Priest positioned to get his hands on Finn for the first time since Balor stabbed him in the back. But Finn Balor with a steel chair assault, a coup de grace assault, and then the icing on the cake, this brain buster right through the announce table, sending Damian Priest to a local medical facility and ensuring that Damian Priest would not be able to make the trip to Glasgow, Scotland this Saturday. Balor eliminating all enemies and making sure it's him and Dragunov for the World Championship. Well, I'll tell you what, Finn Balor can bring the entire Judgment Day, and I got a feeling this man would welcome them all. Ilja Dragunov thrives off pain and punishment. He loves himself a fight. He loves himself a war. And come Saturday night in Scotland, Ilja is prepared to go to hell and back to retain his world title.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall. Introducing first, from Moscow, Russia, weighing in at 187 pounds, the World Heavyweight Champion, Ilja Dragunov.
Well, it's been a hell of a year thus far for Ilja Dragunov, winning the Royal Rumble matchup after going wire to wire back in January. Of course, toppling Cody Rhodes and pinning Drew McIntyre in the midst of that triple threat main event on WrestleMania Saturday to win the World Heavyweight Championship. Ilja retaining that title in a match of the year candidate against Cody Rhodes last month at Backlash, and now awaits a completely different kind of challenge in Finn Balor of the Judgment Day this Saturday night. Balor has shown in recent weeks that he is more dominating than ever, and the Judgment Day's numbers only continue to grow. Ilja may be in for a fight he is not ready for come Clash at the Castle. Well, that is Saturday. We got a main event on hand here in San Jose. AJ Styles technically defeating Dominik Mysterio via disqualification earlier tonight. But I think after all the chaos, the Phenomenal One is far, far from satisfied. Hence the reason this tag team main event was signed on for San Jose.
And his partner from Gainesville, Georgia, weighing in at 218 pounds, the Phenomenal AJ Styles.
Well, we said at the top of the hour that AJ Styles was fired up, but after what happened, I think Styles is going to be even more amped up to participate in this main event. We also discussed AJ Styles' desire to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. And here he is tonight, rubbing elbows, standing side by side with the champion himself, Ilja Dragunov. AJ Styles, a victory alongside Ilja Dragunov, could easily put him in contention, in the conversation for a championship gold after Clash at the Castle. But AJ just has to be focused on the task at hand. That's himself and Ilja Dragunov getting the job done against Dominik Mysterio and the #1 contender, Finn Balor. The Judgment Day only continues to become more destructive. The numbers continue to grow. Continuing to become an entity that is feared here on SmackDown. And come Saturday night, they may hold all the power if Finn Balor can leave heavyweight champion of the world.
And at a combined weight of 390 pounds, Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio, the Judgment Day.
The Cruiserweight Champion Dominik Mysterio, his girlfriend Liv Morgan, you got Finn Balor's running buddy in the Irish Ace JD McDonough, and Judgment Day's newest acquisition and a former United States champion, former Intercontinental champion, former tag team champion, hell, some would call him a legend here in WWE, Carlito. I don't know what number Finn Balor pulled to decide to get Carlito back in the fold here in World Wrestling Entertainment. And of all things, welcome him into the Judgment Day. But Balor doing what he's got to do. He said out of his own mouth last week that there is strength in numbers. Damian Priest has found that out firsthand. The Usos have found that out firsthand. AJ Styles reminded of it earlier tonight. And that collective unit just may become more powerful in 48 hours in Glasgow. But before the bell sounds, for the World Heavyweight title on Saturday, and what promises to be a war of attrition between Finn Balor and Ilja Dragunov, we got a main event on hand. Balor, the Cruiserweight Champion Dirty Dom, they got their hands full with the Ilja Dragunov himself and the phenomenal AJ Styles. The Judgment Day got their hands into this mess earlier tonight. Now they're going to pay the consequences. Who's going to get the momentum on their side ahead of Scotland? Well, Ilja and Balor are going to pick up where they left off earlier tonight and continue to give us a preview of the championship bout in 48 hours as they kick off this tag team main event in the SAP Center. A great night of action here on SmackDown as it always is. Balor and Ilja Dragunov, one of these men, will be standing in the middle of Bakersfield, California next week as the World Heavyweight Champion. Chance to feel each other out. Get a little message ahead of Clash at the Castle on Saturday. Last minute momentum builder, if you will. And I would say both of these men's momentum's at a bit of an all-time high, so somebody's confidence is going to get rocked in the midst of this tag team matchup tonight. Ilja's been on a great run in 2025. Last time we saw him in action was his successful defense of the world title against Cody Rhodes at Backlash. Oh, wait a minute here. Ilja Dragunov now, as IB had taken off the ball by Carlito, looming at ringside, and Finn Balor gonna take advantage of the distraction. Strength in numbers is what the Judgment Day is all about. Now, I find it very interesting. Try to rewind the clock a couple of months when Finn Balor turned his back on Damian Priest. He took to the microphone a week later on Monday Night Raw, started running down all of his problems with Damian Priest. One of those problems that Balor had with Priest was the fact that he thought Damian Priest was trying to take over, trying to be a leader of the Judgment Day. Well, I'm trying to figure out what was so wrong with that, because you see Finn Balor walking down the aisle here tonight with all these Judgment Day representatives like he's the leader. All stems from jealousy, from my estimation. The proof just continues to be in the pudding. Nonetheless, Ilja Dragunov, boots straight to the Cruiserweight Champion. Dominic Mysterio might need Liv Morgan to hold a little bit of ice on that chin later. There's a tag made to AJ Styles. We are back where we started here tonight in San Jose. The matchup going A-wire. AJ technically defeating Dom via disqualification thanks to JD McDonough. Obviously, the Judgment Day had a greater plan. That did not work out. And for the second time tonight, Dom just got dropped right on AJ Styles' knee. Luckily for the Cruiserweight Champion, he's able to persevere. AJ Styles very well. If the cards were in his favor, could have been the one facing Ilja Dragunov on Saturday night for the World Heavyweight Championship, but was knocked out of contention, knocked out of the running, thanks to the numbers of the Judgment Day, ultimately defeated by Finn Balor. Styles has got a bone to pick with the entire group, and what a way to stick it to him tonight. He can defeat Dominic Mysterio and the #1 contender Finn Balor ahead of Balor's opportunity on Saturday. Styles out of the corner, looked to be going for that forearm, but Dominic Mysterio sidesteps into the neck breaker. Next week, Bakersfield, Thursday night SmackDown. The young OG Javon Evans one-on-one with Dragon Lee to determine Dominic Mysterio's next challenger for the Cruiserweight Championship he has held on to since WrestleMania. That is not the situation here tonight as Finn Balor gets tagged in. Takes the fight to AJ, got a little cheap shot on the man Dragon that time as well. You know, one way or another, whether it's been thanks to the Judgment Day's numbers game or not, Balor has been nothing short of successful since the last time the Judgment Day were looking up at the lights. That was Backlash last month. Balor sending AJ to the outside, over the top rope goes the #1 contender. It's almost as if that loss that the Judgment Day suffered to the Usos at Backlash last month awoken something inside Finn Balor that we have not seen since, hell, maybe his days in NXT. Again, the Judgment Day numbers got something to do with it, that's for damn sure. But Balor, one way or another, has pinned the likes of AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes in the same match that featured Karrion Kross, and then add Jimmy Uso onto that. All those casualties in the last 3 weeks, thanks to Finn Balor. Ilja Dragunov's not careful tonight. Finn Balor, oh, speaking of the such, there's a cheap shot by Balor again. Ilja's not careful. This could be another huge victory for the #1 contender. 2 days ahead of their clash at the castle. Brain buster. Balor looking for victory on Styles. Not over yet. Nearly was. Styles able to wake up in the last-ditch second. Similar brain buster to the one Balor delivered to Damian Priest when the Judgment Day invaded Raw this past Monday night. No, Damian Priest is home. He is resting. Yet to get an update on if there's any serious injuries. Damian Priest for damn sure isn't going to do what he wanted to do, and that's make the trip to Scotland and ensure Balor doesn't win the World Championship. Balor grinning from ear to ear because of it. They still got an AJ Styles problem they're looking to sort out. Styles exploding out of the corner with the forearm he wanted earlier. Dom now set to the ropes. Drop kick by the Phenomenal One. And a tag made of the world champion Ilja Dragunov, much needed after Styles suffering some damage the last few minutes. Ilja coming in a house of fire. And a little cheap shot on Finn Balor. I think Liv Morgan went down as well. I'll tell you what, Ilja Dragunov knows one speed, and that's full speed ahead. Give it everything you got, leave nothing left on the table. It is what has brought him to the dance. Off the high knee, into the cover on the Cruiserweight Champion Mysterio. Still alive here in your SmackDown main event. You're live tonight from a sold-out SAP Center in San Jose, California, the capital of the Silicon Valley. It's been a great night here on SmackDown, and it continues as Ilja Dragunov ragdolls Mysterio over that time. The world champion, full head of steam, Constantine special on Mysterio. And another near fall. Ilja almost had Dominic Mysterio put away. Dominic Mysterio, who technically fell short in defeat earlier tonight, almost suffered another, this time with his shoulders on the canvas. Ilja's starting to do what he does best, unload with the strikes. One of the hardest hitters, one of the toughest they come. Mysterio, however, might have caught him. 619 by Dirty Dom. Into the halo. A maneuver from Rey, a maneuver from Eddie, and now a pinfall that nearly put this matchup away, but AJ Styles says, nuh-uh, not tonight. There's a tag made of the #1 contender. Balor looking to come in and pick the scraps of his Clash at the Castle opponent. Ilja Dragunov now wearing the fatigue of this matchup all over his body language. Balor takes him down again. Said it before, we'll say it again. It is going to be a war of attrition on Saturday night between the champion and the challenger. And Balor looking to soften up Ilja ahead of that trip to Scotland. Balor looking to ensure that the entire flight from San Jose to Glasgow for Ilja Dragunov is one full of doubt and despair. Balor said last week the only thing Ilja was going to be leaving Glasgow with was regret. Ilja Dragunov looking to write a different story as he tags in AJ Styles off that swinging neck breaker. And Al Phenomenal One starting to rev things up. Balor trying to weaken the pace, trying to slow things down. Styles with an opposite game plan. Balor into the corner. Here comes Styles. Balor might have kept down AJ a couple of weeks ago, but AJ extra motivated tonight. 450! This late in his career, this stage of the game, Styles moving incredible. And you had to believe this matchup would have been over if it weren't for Dirty Dom. Oh, well, Styles had enough of the Judgment Day's numbers. Dropping Dom on the apron. Suicide dive by Balor. Things are breaking down here in your SmackDown main event. AJ now sent back inside the ring. Took his eye off the ball and went after the Cruiserweight Champion. It ends up costing him. Finn Balor, oh, and another shot to Ilja Dragunov. This guy's obsessed with the cheap shots tonight. Sling blade into the drop kick. AJ Styles may be in trouble, as the #1 contender for the world's title may be closing in on yet another victory in recent weeks on SmackDown. AJ hoisted up top. I believe off screen here, Dominic Mysterio is making a beeline for Ilja Dragunov off your screens at ringside. Meanwhile, Balor double underhook, suplex off the top. Dominic taking care of Ilja at ringside. Balor, coup de grace to AJ Styles. Just as Damian Priest, how that maneuver feels. Victory for the Judgment Day.
Here are your winners, Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio, the Judgment Day.
Finn Balor just continues to win. The Judgment Day just continues to get stronger and stronger week in and week out here on SmackDown. And if this momentum keeps up, come this Saturday night, all the power may lie with the Judgment Day if Finn Balor can leave Clash at the Castle as your new World Heavyweight Champion.
Unleash